Welcome. This is a live stream. So if you're watching this video later, just to let you know, in case you hear me talking to people on the screen or doing something other than, this is a live stream and you're watching a broadcast of a live stream. Just so you would know. And don't forget to hit the notification button and definitely subscribe, as Stuff Whites don't sleep, neither does the Ronnie 9. Those two go head and head. They do not sleep. Nolan Austin too. And a newcomer, Roy Gibson. Well, I love to say I'm right. I love to say I'm right because I've seen this done so many times. I've seen this done so many times in so many different ways. This cycle never breaks. So you know what's coming. You know what's coming every time. Not some of the time, not maybe. I told you, when Ray Lewis went with the Ravens and took the knee and kneeled, and he got on both knees, and he was out there praying. Oh yeah, he went in on Shannon Sharpe too. He mad. Now I'm gonna get to all this. I'm gonna get to all of it. But this is what I told you he was gonna do. I said he gonna go on Inside the NFL and correct himself. I still is a good Ray. I'm still the same Ray. No, look, I ain't changed. I'm still the same Ray. I's good, sir. I still's good, sir. I just went out there. I tried to make peace out of chaos. I was praying. I didn't take a knee. I ain't with that. No. I's good, Ray. I still good, Ray. Don't be mad at me. Sir, I still's good, Ray. Don't look down on me. We goods, right? We goods. That's Ray. That's Ray. So they brought him on this show with the other coon, and that's why he on the show, because they want him to coon every week for ratings, because they know people gonna come over there and definitely watch to see what he gonna say. That's why they got him on there. They played him as the buffoon when he came on the show in the promo. They made him the buffoon in the promo. So why not make him the buffoon in real life? Every week, instead of the game, they talking about him about some buffoonery. Now, he's a great football mind. He knows the game probably better than all of them sitting right down in that chair. They hadn't played in about 20, 30 years. But then you got JB in here leading him to correct himself. And in this interview, you gonna hear Ray give an excuse as to why he's doing it. See, sometimes when these dudes are doing this, they inadvertently tell on themselves. They inadvertently tell on themselves. And they don't even know they did it.
Would talk about actually two knees. And that's the point. Let's make sure you hear people saying, "Oh, he took a knee." I absolutely not. Did not take a knee. I walked onto the. Hold on. Let's be clear. When you say you hear people say, you hear Shannon Sharpe going out there talking about I dropped on a knee, and this is about I sat in the chair next to him, and I said I would never do this, and I still didn't do it. I'm watching young kids just confused. Everybody confused. Nobody don't know what they're talking about. What am I gonna do? If I'm gonna stand up, if I'm gonna grab hands, if I'm gonna interlock, what am I gonna do? So I walked away, JB, and I didn't drop on one knee in order to protest. Boom, I dropped on two knees, both knees, so I can simply honor God in the midst of chaos.
And Ray, now hold on. So you are passionately making this point, which, by the way, you were very passionate in our production meeting as well. So put a little bit of context on this. The reason you mentioned Shannon, meaning Shannon Sharp, your former teammate, why are you mentioning him? What does he have to do?
He goes out and tells somebody why he's so disappointed in me.
In you.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, I'm 42 years old with 6 kids. I'm a grown man. So to be disappointed in me, it really sparked me. And now all of these people
All right,
are
now
going
you...
off his sound bites of how he's so shocked that I dropped on the knee to protest. Really? You got my phone number, brother. A friend picks up the cell phone and say, bro, what was your intention?
Now, he's right. I'm going to tell y'all right now. Ray Lewis is right. He might be buck dancing. He might be doing the jigaboo dance. But on this subject, he's right. Ray Lewis is right. Let me tell you why he's right. If your friend is going to go on national television and talk about something you did that he didn't like, and he's somebody to say you my best friend, or you one of my close friends, you're like a little brother to me, he should have definitely had a conversation with Ray Lewis. He got his phone number. He should have picked up the phone and called Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis was a guest on that show because of Shannon Sharp. You needed to have called Ray to say, man, what was you doing out there? Before you went on the air, you would have had more clarity for when you went out there. For what? That's his little brother. That's one of his best friends. If you know you got a show and you finna go on there, your best friend that did something, you needed to have placed a call. If he didn't answer the phone, that's different. But you got to place that call. You got to place that call to Ray to ask him, so you will have more clarity when you go out there and say, at least I know Ray's side of it. I had to hear it from him because besides all the sports and my job, that's my homeboy. That's my brother. Because believe it or not, Shannon Sharp looked out for Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis was a little young guy in the league. Ray was like his little brother. Shannon was near the end of his career. He had already been in the league 14 years. Shannon has been retired for I don't know, about 14, 15 years. But he the one got Ray Lewis eating right. He the one got Ray Lewis, the one doing all the right things in the NFL. Shannon Sharp is very instrumental in that. But he should have contacted Ray Lewis before he went on the air. He should have definitely contacted him before he did that. You at least owed him that, if anything. But all of this stuff he wants to address, and everybody on the show sitting back watching him go off and do all this, saying he just want to get on both knees and pray. He want to let people know he wasn't with that. Okay, but let's continue with this, because I told you, people reveal the real reasons why they do stuff, and people glance over it and don't get it. Let's listen.
What were you doing? You saw my mouth moving. I asked
And your mouth moving was because?
Praying. Now, this makes me ask you a serious question. I have First Amendment rights myself. We got people standing, we got people bowing, we got people don't even want to respect the flag. If we want to make it right, make it two ways. You can only stand or pray. Well, you have it like that and chose to pray. So to be clear about this, you didn't drop on one knee as you said you wouldn't do because you disagreed with that form of protest, but you dropped on two knees. I never will agree with that. So you maintain that, but I do too much with the military. I do too much for cops.
There you go. I do too much for the military. I do too much for cops. Didn't you hear him say that? I can't be a part of that. I do too much for the military. I do too much for cops. I do too much for the military. I do too much for the cops. Well, what do you do for them, Ray? What do you do for them, Ray? You do too much for the military, and I do too much for the cops. So I can't be a part of that. Be a part of what, Ray? What? You can't be a part of standing for a protest of people who are doing it not to disrespect the flag. They're doing it to bring the attention to light of the mistreatment of police officers against unarmed African American people. You can't be a part of that. Because you do too much for the cops and the military. So when a cop shoots an unarmed black man in the back, they go, oh my God, what have I done? Gosh, I gotta clean this up. Who do I can call? Ray Lewis. Ray, I just shot somebody. We need you down here. Yeah, it was an accident, Ray. We need you to smooth this over, Ray, with your people. You understand your kind. Go get them, Ray. I got this. I got this. They trust me. Hey, y'all, calm down. Calm down. Look, I'm going to do my dance. See, I still got it. I'm still Ray. Watch me. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Just watch me. Watch Ray. I know y'all sad he gone, but that's okay. Give it time. Time heal all wounds. Police, they good peoples. They real goods to me. So what do you do, Ray? You could never be a part of that. Came out your mouth. Because you do too much for the military and the police. My family is military. I respect the military all the way to the top notch. I have no disrespect for the military whatsoever. I have no disrespect for the police force. They give me respect, I give respect back. That's the way it is. I don't disrespect anybody's flags, culture, nothing. But to say you can't be a part of something that represents people that look like you getting killed and they protesting against that, well, you shouldn't have shown up at all. Why would you go out there to get on a knee and pray? On two knees then. What was your point? Why would you come out there? You wanted to try to cause confusion. You wanted to give the appearance that you were unified with what they were fighting for or protesting. But then you want to correct on the show to the people that you really support. Oh, no. Don't pay no attention to that. I was out there praying. I was doing something different. I wasn't with that. Then why were you there, Ray? Why were you there? See, that's what I'm saying. People's integrity is all screwed up.
So you maintain that, but I do too much with the military. I do too much for cops. I do too much. You didn't drop on one knee as you said you wouldn't do because you disagreed with that form of protest, but you dropped on two knees. I never will agree with that. So you maintain that.
I never will agree with that.
So you maintain that, but I do too much with the military. I do too much for cops. I never will agree with that. So you maintain that, but I do too much with the military. I do too much for cops. I never will agree with that. So you maintain that, but I do too much with the military. I do too much for cops. Protest, but you dropped on two knees. I never will agree with that. So you maintain that, but I do too much with the military. I do too much for cops.
There you go. Raycon Lewis. He don't agree. He don't agree with none of it. He was there to cause confusion. Raycon Lewis. I don't like to use the word coon because I don't like to use trendy terms. But in this case, that's exactly what he did. Raycon Lewis, he said, no, I'm going coon. Raycon Lewis, he went out there and I told you he was going to do this. On my initial video, I told you this is what he was going to do. I said, oh, he going to go out there and explain it all different when he go on inside the NFL. I told you. Now he's saying he wasn't doing that. He got on two knees because he was praying. I saw you was out there praying, and I knew you was going to turn it into something else. But why be there, Ray? Why be there? They didn't need you. You're not on the team. Somebody need to tell Ray Lewis, you're not on the team. Why are you sitting in these meetings? Why are you doing all this? What is your role with the team? What was you there for? If you would never be a part of that. I wanted to pray in the midst of confusion. I think everybody's confused. And you just made it more confusing. Because you made people assume you were a part of it when you wasn't. You showed up there not a part of anything. You showed up there to be a part of an agenda. The only reason you were there because they attacked the NFL. Because your owner said, you need to be out there, Ray. I ain't going to be out there. You go out there. We all doing this as a united NFL front because the president overstepped his boundaries telling people not to support the NFL. That's why the NFL is upset. They didn't do anything because of Colin Kaepernick. No, they did it because he said don't come to the games. I wouldn't come to the games. The NFL need to fire their personnel. 78% of their players are black. And they supposed to fire them to do because you don't like what they did? No, Ray didn't want the spotlight. He was there because he was told to be there. His boss, his massa, told him to be down there, and he was there. Raycon Lewis was there because his boss told him to be there. If his boss told him to stay at home, guess what Ray was going to do? His boss say stay at home. Guess what he gonna do? He gonna do what Master say. Master say stay home. Master say we sick. Master say we sick. So I'ma stays at home. But he was out there. But now he got to come back and justify why he was out there now. So now he going to come back and go on TV to explain he wasn't a part of none of it. He was just there. Only thing he care about is being there for the police and being there for the military. But you ain't there for the brothers and sisters that was there for you when you did the murder. Well, allegedly did the murder. And you was on trial for it. See, Jay, this is why I'm glad you got here, Jay. Let me explain something to you. This has nothing to do with the national anthem or the flag. They're not protesting that. The public is protesting that and pushing that worldwide because that's the media agenda. Colin Kaepernick never said anything about protesting the national anthem. He never said anything about protesting the flag. People never listen. That's their problem. Go back and listen to why he said he did it, Jay. He said we were doing this to bring the attention to the police brutality on unarmed African Americans. That's why. It has nothing to do with the song, has nothing to do with flags. But they wanted to make it about the flag, make it about the anthem, and push that narrative to entice and aggravate those in the military, aggravate those in the country who had people die for the flag, to get them angry and upset, to go against that. They're using misdirection to rally people. And now they're calling it the national anthem protest. The media is. They never called it a national anthem protest. They never called it the flag protest. Then you got people coming on television doing interviews talking about the lyrics to the national anthem, the flag, and they're causing confusion and misdirection. That is not what the whole thing was about, and they know it. And they get us arguing over things that are not the issue. And I try to tell people, like, why are you arguing this? Did you listen to the lyrics of the national anthem? Black people don't even know the lyrics. That's not even the lyrics no more. They don't even know that's not even in the song. They think the song still got those lyrics. Man, listen to the lyrics of the national anthem. I'm like, dude, that's like 30, 40 years ago. That's been changed. They took all that stuff out. Yeah, but did you know the person that wrote it was racist? Do you know the person that wrote the laws that you follow right now? They probably was racist. Slave owners. None of these laws in this country was made for us. So what are you really saying? You don't have to salute a flag. If you're not in the military, you do not have to salute a flag. You don't have to put a hand over your heart. Nothing's going to change. Because the people that's in power will never allow it. Only thing you could be responsible for is the teachings that you give to your children and your family, and unify with those that are around you. The more you have people informed to be individuals, to be strong-minded individuals, not to be swayed by lies and deceptions. Once they are taught to know the difference between the two, then you can start making changes. When you are able to see the real problem, then you can start focusing and see past the deceptions and the lies and the misdirections. Then and only then can you start to make change. But when you keep trying to put a Band-Aid on a bleeding wound that keeps bleeding, and you just keep trying to put Band-Aids on it instead of really trying to fix the ailment, you're never going to get anywhere. What has the NAACP done for us? In the 50, 60 years, all except cash and checks. What has the NAACP done? So now Ray Lewis goes on the show and he mad at Shannon Sharpe because Shannon Sharpe put his name on blast. See, what Ray wanted to do was fix his image. He thought, I'm going to go out there and use misdirection and make the brothers think I'm back in the fold. But no, he didn't. He didn't. He proved I'm still Ray Coon Lewis. And Ray Coon Lewis is going to do just what he going to do, shuffle and jive. He came on the show, bashing Shannon Sharpe, and he got mad because nobody in the black community bought it. They knew what it was. They still was like, too late. We're not going for it, Ray. He's like, I got on both knees because I was praying in the midst of chaos. What chaos? What chaos, Ray? What you mean chaos? But you said I would never support that. Live on the show. They should do the story of Ray Lewis. And gonna get mad at Shannon. And they leading him down the road. Listen to the questions, how they lead him.
And Ray, now hold on. So you are passionately making this point, which, by the way, you were very passionate in our production meeting as well. So put a little bit of context on this. The reason you mentioned Shannon, meaning Shannon Sharpe, your former teammate, why are you mentioning him? What does he have to do?
He goes out and tells somebody why he's so disappointed in me.
In you.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, I'm 42 years old with 6 kids. I'm a grown man. So to be disappointed in me, it really sparked me. And now all of these people are going off his sound bites of how he's so shocked that I dropped on the knee to protest. Really? You got my phone number, brother. A friend picks up the cell phone and said, bro, what was your intention? What were you doing? You saw my mouth moving. I asked him.
And your mouth moving was because?
Friend. Now, this makes me ask you a serious question. I have First Amendment rights myself. We got people standing, we got people bowing, we got people don't even want to respect the flag. If we want to make it right, make it through 2 ways. You can only stand or pray. We used to have it like that and chose to pray. So to be clear about this, you didn't drop on one knee as you said you wouldn't do because you disagreed with that former protest, but you dropped on 2 knees. I never will agree with that.
So you maintain that position.
I do too much with the military. I do too much for cops.
I do too much for the military. I do too much for cops. I can never be a part of that. You see that? You hear that? He told you. See, people will tell you, if you listen, what their intentions were. Why they can't do something. So if anybody ever asks you why Raycon Lewis couldn't do nothing, that's it. I do too much for the military. I do too much for cops. But he don't do too much for the brothers. I never heard him on TV saying, I can't co-sign what my owner said. I do too much for the community. I do too much for the blacks. I couldn't do that to them. No. I do too much for the military, and I do too much for the cops to ever draw attention to police officers killing unarmed black men. That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. Because that's his priority. That's his first priority. And that's sad. But it shows you that's who he is. So I don't implore anybody to go and give any ratings. Watch it online for free. Go on Twitter. You will hear Ray Lewis defend himself and take back everything he done the other day.
Record is saying that you never would. Talk about
Actually, two knees.
And that's the point.
Let's make sure you hear people saying, "Oh, he took a knee." I absolutely not. Did not take a knee. I walked onto the.
Hold on, let's be clear. When you say your people say,
See?
People, you hear Shannon Sharp going out there talking about I dropped on a knee, and this is about, oh, I sat in the chair next to him, and I said I would never do this, and I still didn't do it. I'm watching young kids just confused. Everybody confused. Nobody don't know what they're talking about. What am I gonna do? If I'm gonna stand up, if I'm gonna grab hands, if I'm gonna interlock, what am I gonna do? So I walked away, JB, and I didn't drop on one knee in order to protest. Boom, I dropped on two knees, both knees, so I can simply honor God in the midst of chaos. And Ray, hold on, so you are
In the midst of chaos. What was the chaos? I didn't see any chaos. I didn't see people running around crazy.
The reason you mentioned Shannon, meaning Shannon Sharp, your former...
He mad at Shannon Sharp.
What does he have to do?
He goes out and tells somebody why he's so disappointed in me.
In you.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, I'm 42 years old with 6 kids. I'm a grown man. So to be disappointed in me, it really sparked me. And now all of these people are going off his sound bites of how he's so shocked that I dropped on a knee to protest. Really? You got my phone number, brother. A friend picks up the cell phone and say, bro, what was your intention?
Now, here's the thing. Ray Lewis is right about that. For those who just got here, Ray was right about that part with Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp should have gave you a call. Shannon Sharp should have picked up that phone and gave you a call. As tight as they are, Ray Lewis and Shannon Sharp, he definitely should have picked up that phone and called Ray before he went on there. That way he'd have had more information to give you. Had he picked up the phone and called Ray Lewis, he would have had more information to gift and deliver to you. So that part is right. But if you Ray Lewis, when that was made, did you pick up a phone and call Shannon Sharp to cuss him out and check him? Because that's what you're supposed to do next before you went on the air. Because you would have had more information to say about the subject. You just went on the air, probably did not call Shannon Sharp, to say, why would you go on the air and do that to me, my brother? So I guarantee you tomorrow, he going after that head. He going after that head tomorrow. Shannon coming.
What were you doing? You saw my mouth moving. I asked
And your mouth moving was because
friend.
You see how JB leading him like a dummy? Your mouth is moving because I was praying. Now, you allude to people you're disappointed to. Now, you're saying you dropped on 2 knees, not 1 knee, because you're saying you weren't a part of that situation. You see how they leading him with the questions? If this was a trial, Your Honor, Your Honor, counsel is leading the witness. My goodness, they leading him down the road. Counsel, Your Honor, counsel is leading the witness. Wow.
This makes me actually
Let's continue to listen to this.
I have First Amendment rights myself. We got people standing.
As Ray tells you,
we got people don't even want to respect the flag. If we want to make it right, make it through 2 ways. You can only stand or pray. We used to have it like that and chose to pray. So to be clear about this, you didn't drop on 1 knee as you said you wouldn't do because you disagreed with that form of protest, but you dropped on 2 knees. I never will agree with that. So you maintain that, but I do too much with the military. I do too much for cops.
I do too much for military and cops. He told you. They all shuckers and jivers. I do too much for the military and I do too much for cops. Can't never be a part of that.
well too, because in fact,
Amendment rights myself. We got people standing. We got people bowing. We got people don't even want to respect the flag. If we
this, you didn't drop on 1 knee as you said you wouldn't do because you disagreed with that form of protest, but you dropped on 2 knees.
I never will agree with that.
So you maintain that, but
I do too much with the military. I do too much for cops. I do too much me.
There you go. He had to go out there and say, I's goods Ray. I goods Ray. So he says that and say, oh gosh, he does out there and say, I got First Amendment rights too. But then you come out there and say, we should just make it 2 ways. Either you pray or you stand. So this sounds like to me, you want dictatorship. You want somebody to dictate to you how you should be able to protest. Well, I got kicked off, those unusual YouTube things. You know how it is. What's up, Victor? I see you. My thing is, people got to stop looking at celebrities and athletes as they're the guys to follow. I know, and people who go against Bahami Jones, I don't understand why they do that either. He's been the only one that I've seen in the media who's really been focused. A lot of people give a lot of credit to Jamel Hill and everybody else, but I'm like, he's the one. Bahami Jones has been doing it since it started. He's like, look, he bringing people back to the subject of the matter and stop saying it's about the flag, because he's the one that's really been keeping that going. So I commend him for that. But this is what happened when you let celebrities and athletes, when celebrities and athletes, you guys look at these people and think everything they say is important. And believe me, I've seen it happen. A lot of these celebrities get drunk off their own fame. Oh man, let me go here. And this thing is not charging. It drained my battery completely. Let me put it on the charger. And I just gotta stay here and do it. So I don't know how you guys can see me. All right. Oh, it's coming. Ray's finna get it in about 3 hours from now. 3 hours from now, Ray Lewis gonna be getting it. Shannon Sharpe gonna be, what, Ray? Oh, Ray, you was my brother, but you was out of line. I'm sorry, brother. I was just trying to be good, but you should have done. No. I don't want to hit. He finna get. He finna drown that boy in 3 hours, boy. But I want to hear why he explained why he didn't call Ray. He should have called Ray after that and at least got some answers. What's up, Joe C? He should have at least reached out to Ray. I know if that was somebody I seen that I knew that I was brothers with, that I called my brother, and I had a show, and I went on the air and do all my stuff, if I know him, I'm going to at least give him a call. Before I say, I'm going to go out there and we going to talk. He's got to get a conversation. That's got to happen. Me and him got to have some dialogue. But by him saying, I do too much for the military, I do too much for cops. My whole family, basically, that's military. I stand with the military all the time. You see that. We stand up high, we stand tall for the military. We stand tall for all of those cops that do help. There are cops, there are lots of them that are not out there killing unarmed blacks, that do stuff for the community. No matter what color they are, there are police officers that do that. I give respect to get it back. When I don't get the respect back, I cannot respect you. That's the way it happens. It's a two-way street. But I will not ever ignore the fact that police officers are killing unarmed African Americans and act like it does not exist. And put the police above that. You can't do that. If you're Ray Lewis and you have a platform and your celebrity status and you want to omit the fact that people that look like you are being killed by police officers around the world, not in just one little incident, around the world, and you want to omit that and just turn a blind eye to it, because you do too much for the military and you do too much for the police. Did he say, I do too much for the blacks? I do too much for the community? The first words that come out of his mouth was, I could never be a part of that. I can never be a part of taking a knee because I do too much for the military and I do too much for the cops. That was his first concern. His first concern was self-preservation. Couldn't put others before himself. He's thinking, I can't mess up my check. I represent the military, and I can't mess up the check I get when I represent the cops. The bag. Once again, doing it for the bag. People like, well, you make YouTube videos for the bag. I make YouTube videos before they was giving out the bag. For free. Before they started giving bags. I had videos. When they were giving bags, I had videos I wasn't getting paid for. I didn't have to do it. I wanted to be heard. That's why I did it. You don't just make these for the... If I'm just making it for the bag, I'll make 30 videos a day. If I'm going to do it for the bag, I'll be like, look, I'm doing this for the bag, Joe. I'm finna talk about Young Uzi, triple homicide, triple gauge, Verts, new song, Kill 'Em Up. Yeah. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to do a whole video for each song. I'm finna get the bag, Joe. No, that's not what I do. It's not what I do. So I'm not finna just throw stuff out there just to get some money. That's crazy. If I don't feel like I have something to say about it, or I want to say about it, I'm not gonna do it. Y'all seen that? I don't talk about all these different subjects because I want some money. I talk about subjects and things that I do. I watch movies. I go to the movies a lot. That's why I have a movie channel, because I watch a lot of movies. I've written scripts. I've done this. I love, my passion is that. I've written that. I talk about boxing. You know I'm a part of boxing. I don't just somebody just watch the fights. I'm a part of that. That's what I do. The rap game, the music thing. Look, I do and talk about what I'm a part of and I'm affiliated with. If I don't have a passion for it, I'm not going to talk about it. When it comes to football, I talk about Manchester United. Why? Because I rep Man U. That's it. I don't do a whole soccer report. I rep Manchester United. That's what we represent. Man U all the way. And that's it. We talk about what we do, period. I take y'all almost everywhere I go live. When you see me, you'll normally see me live. Whether I'm in Florida, whether I'm in Vegas, everywhere I go, I have went live and you guys have seen me there. Not going to Kanika's funeral. I try not to go to any funeral I can. I don't like funerals. Nobody likes funerals, but still, I don't want to be surrounded by all that grief by a bunch of people I really don't know and all of these things. And I don't even want to put myself in that mode. I don't want to do that. I don't want to put myself in that mode because that'll ruin my entire rest of the day, Sunday, everything. Seeing a teenage girl in the casket that don't need to be. Can't do it. Can't do it. That's right. Have your own opinion. You think Floyd Mayweather, and I've been knowing Floyd when he was broke. Okay? When Floyd Mayweather was broke, I know him. When he got money, he's still been the same person. He had the same attitude he did when he was broke that he got right now today. Same attitude. Do you think what Floyd believes in, that I follow? Floyd, he likes Donald Trump. He voted for, I don't know if he voted for him, but he supported him because him and Donald Trump were friends in business and all this stuff. So he came and supported him. Everybody in the media came down on Floyd for supporting Trump. He showed up to the inauguration with all these other people who donated millions of dollars to Donald Trump's campaign, who donated all this money for tax reasons and everything else. They got to stay quiet and go and hide. And whenever the light was brought on them, they tell the people, don't ask me those questions. No, I won't answer no questions about Trump, this and that. Floyd come out and ask you. You ask him anything you want. Boom, he'll tell it to you flat out how he felt. But yet you crucified him. And he said before all this, nobody called Trump a racist. When he had his own show, Trump been the same guy he's been for years. He ain't changed. Donald Trump don't care about anybody. He don't. He only care about the people that invest with him. I knew that. I seen Donald Trump for years. He comes here. He used to come here all the time for the real estate conventions. Him and Robert Kiyosaki. I used to see all of them. And he'll do his speech and he'll be the host. They'll pay him to host the event because he don't have any insight. Nobody's there to see him. They'll listen to Robert and they'll listen to everybody else on the panel. He's just the dog. He's just the entertainment. So you know what Donald Trump is when you meet him. He's a womanizer. He's all these different things. So the fact that he's president of the United States, to somebody like me, that's a joke. I never wanted my picture with Donald Trump back then. It was like, do you want to take a picture with Donald Trump? All the people who spend money and get this. And I'm like, well, I ain't going to spend no money to take a picture with Donald Trump. I never wanted to see him. I seen him in boxing a lot. He worked with Don King. Him and Don King worked side by side. I got a picture of the top of his head when they were walking past me in Nevada, him and Don. I took a picture with Don. I didn't want to take a picture with Donald. I took a picture with Don King. That was the guy that gave me my break in boxing. You're going to learn this from this side. Don. He's an elitist. If he's anything, he's an elitist. He doesn't care about anything that doesn't benefit Donald Trump. That's just it. Trump has always been that way. He's been like that when it came to real estate, his hotels, everything. Because you shouldn't be begging for acceptance. That's exactly right. It's not about who you're begging for. You should never have to beg for acceptance. It should not be an issue. And Donald Trump went out there and said he wanted to stand up. He wanted to applaud Arizona for booing the Dallas Cowboys for taking a knee during the anthem. They never took a knee during the anthem. They took a knee before the anthem was even played. So they were booing them for nothing. They booing them because they're from Arizona and they're ignorant. The anthem wasn't even playing. Oh, you just got here and want to hear about Ray? Oh, you're going to have to wait till this video ends. We're going to end this video in about 5 more minutes, but you're going to be very much caught up on Ray and what happened, and you're going to want to watch Undisputed today in the next 3 hours. I guarantee you that. We covered Ray already now. That's what people's problem is. They care too much. None of that's going to get your bills paid. You could yell on the internet and scream at the top of your lungs, but on the first, guess what? Margin calls. It's time to pay rent. It's time to pay light bill. It's time to pay phone bill. See, people like to escape reality. This is an escape from reality. We're focused too much on nonsense and distractions to actually get to the real problem. No one's talking about the real problem. Everybody's talking about all these other things going back and forth. So when everybody's going back and forth talking about nonsense and people get caught up in it, have you always realized and noticed it's always the poor people that are complaining about rich problems, the more bigger scale problems? Trump don't know what he doing. He gonna get us in a war with North Korea. He gonna get us in a war with Russia. Man, Trump don't know what he doing, man. What he doing in Syria? That dude isn't gonna get people in Syria to come over here and they gonna mess up our cereal. I mean, that's not where they make. You think Syria makes cereal? Oh my God. This is what happens all the time. When people get involved in things that's way beyond their pay grade, none of the things they do affects you. Basically, they consider you like a monopoly board. You guys don't understand. They're poor white people too. There's poor white people too, unfortunately. And I'm not saying it as a joke, but they're poor white people. They're white people that are on extremely poor, that lives around whites and blacks. If you ever go to Minnesota, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You go to Hammond, Indiana, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So if you go there to see this, and when you look at this situation, you say to yourself, hey, Belinda, good morning to you. When this video is over in 2 minutes, you'll know. Yeah, Shannon will go in on. But when you look at situations like how everybody breaks off and look at the monopoly board, you will see that's where they keep you. It has nothing to do with anything of what you're talking about. From Baltic Ave to what's that, Connecticut, that whole little side, those cheap properties on that side of the fence, they're not worried about you. They're worried about making money off you. That's it. They're going to charge you a little bit of money here and there. You're going to get government programs and this and that. Mostly everybody in poverty, they start over there. That's where your projects is. That's where your Inglewoods is. That's where every little area is. Now, the other side, the St. Charles Place, all the way down to, New York Avenue, that area there is mid-income living. Okay? That's where the middle-income families lived. Now, the middle-income family line has been decimated, and it's been ripped apart by Wall Street, the banks, everything. So all that's broke up. So what used to be middle-income living, used to have a good house back in the 90s and 80s, all of that has dissolved into the same thing over there as Baltic Ave. So all of that is one big section of poor people. Even the middle-income families that's doing a little bit better than the rest, they're over there. Everybody's kept in blocks, segregated from each other. But now the middle-income family is damaged. Then you get the other side, where you got Indiana Avenue all the way down to Pennsylvania on that side of the monopoly board. That's the upper middle class. Meaning you're bringing inside your household at least 150 to probably 200K a year. So on that side, you're going to have your streets paved. You're going to have politicians showing up at your door. You're going to have a whole different type of view on the world because you don't see all of the iniquities that happens around the world. They're there. You can choose to ignore it and live a perfect life. Your kids, you don't have to worry about your kids getting shot at. They have playgrounds designed for your children. They have recreational centers designed for your children to be entertained. You have places to take them. It's a nurturing school system. You have everything you want in that little area there, where it's good, clean, wholesome fun. Why can't America be like that? Why just this section here? But it's segregated. They're not going to let that part integrate with this part. They're going to keep all these things segregated. Now you have the other side of the fence. When you have Pennsylvania Avenue all the way down the boardwalk. Now, see, Pennsylvania all the way down the boardwalk. Now you're talking your celebrities, your athletes. Okay? Your celebrity athletes, the Tom Brady's, the NFL players, the basketball players, those who are making $500K to maybe $1 million. These are your $1 million homes. That's a whole nother level. Okay? So now you're in a whole nother bracket. Now you have gated communities. Now you have situations where all multi-million-dollar homes are there. You have schools, private schools, that only athletes and entertainers, their kids could go to. You have teachers that live there who get paid very well just to educate your children. And they're bankrolled by the celebrities and the entertainers and the athletes. They have security everywhere they go. They even have stores that you can't go to. The average human being can't go to these stores. It's just for the people in this community. And it's all gated in. This is a little different. Then you got Boardwalk and Park Place. You got those two. That's a whole different bracket. Boardwalk and Park Place. It's only two. And people wonder, why is it only two? Because those two places, nobody's getting in. If you're an athlete, it don't even matter. You're not getting a boardwalk. Boardwalk is reserved for politicians, certain politicians, high-powered politicians. Okay? High-powered politicians, high-powered people in power. You're not getting in those areas. They have 24-hour security, armed security. If you accidentally think you're going over there, you will be removed. So, we are doing overtime. And that is basically it. I've explained the game of Monopoly. So, we are in overtime though. So now let me stop this so you guys can get caught up and come back when this thing is through processing and watch and learn everything about Ray Lewis. So, I'm out. Thanks, Jacob. I appreciate it.